Somewhere deep in West Africa, there was a small village called Ikenga. It was nestled in the heart of a lush forest near a river that flowed strong and pure. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, always honoring Sankara, the god of the land, rivers, and all living things. For all generations, Sankara had protected them, ensuring that their crops grew tall, their animals stayed healthy, and the rivers never ran dry. The villagers knew that as long as they followed the old ways, offering sacrifices, paying respect to the gods, and living in balance with nature, they would always be safe. But as time passed, the younger generations began to change. They no longer wanted to follow the old ritual. They grew tired of making sacrifices and praying to gods they couldn't see. They had heard stories of the big city far away, where people didn't rely on gods or traditions, but on technology and progress. They began to believe that the old ways were outdated. We don't need the gods to succeed, they said. There is a better way. The elders warned them, their voices full of fear. If you forget Sankara, Sankara will forget you. But the young people didn't listen. They shut down the old shrines, stopped offering sacrifices, and abandoned the rituals that had protected their village for so long. They thought they could live a better life without the gods' help. At first, nothing seemed to change. The sun still rose, and the rain still came. The villagers thought they had made the right decision, but soon, things began to go wrong. It started with small problems. Some children fell ill, and no one knew how to cure them. The river, once clear and full, started to dry up, and the fish that lived in it disappeared. The crops that had once grown strong and plentiful began to wither. The villagers didn't think much of it. It's just bad luck, they said. It happens everywhere. But the problems didn't go away, they only got worse. One evening, as the sun set and darkness began to creep in, a strange fog rolled in from the forest. It was thick and cold, not like the usual mist that came with the night. This fog felt unnatural, as though it was alive. It covered the village, choking the air and hiding everything from sight. The animals grew restless, and the villagers began to feel uneasy, as if something was wrong. They locked themselves inside their homes, praying that the fog would pass, but it didn't. As the night deepened, a strange sound filled the air. It was low at first, like the distant rumble of thunder, but then it grew louder, like a wailing cry full of pain and sorrow. The villagers rushed outside, trying to find the source of the noise, but they saw nothing but the thick fog. In the center of the village stood the old shrine to Sankara, the one the villagers had abandoned. But it wasn't just a shrine anymore. The air around it shimmered with a strange, fairy glow, and standing in the middle of it was a tall, dark figure. Its face was hidden in shadows, but its eyes burned red like fairy coals. The villagers could feel the anger radiating from it, and they froze in fear. The figure spoke, and its voice echoed like thunder across the village. You have forgotten me. The villagers couldn't move, their bodies frozen with terror. The voice was powerful, both full of rage and sorrow. You turned your back on the land, the river, and the spirits of your ancestors. You have dishonored me, and now I will take back what I gave you. The ground beneath their feet began to tremble, and the earth cracked open. Black smoke began to pour from the cracks, swelling in the air like angry ghosts, reaching for the villagers. The figure's eyes burned brighter, and its voice grew louder and more furious. One of the elders, Mama Ada, stepped forward, her voice shaking but determined. Sankara, please, we were wrong. We didn't mean to forget you. We didn't understand. But the figure ignored her. It's too late, it boomed. You have broken the balance. Now you will pay the price. With that, the earth split open, and the smoke rose like a storm. The villagers screamed as they were pulled into the cracks, one by one, as if the land itself was swallowing them whole. They tried to run, but their feet were stuck to the ground, unable to move. The figure's red eyes burned through them, and they knew there was no escape. By the time the sun rose, Ikenga was gone. The fog had lifted, the ground had sealed itself, and the village had disappeared without a trace. There were no people, no animals, no sign of life, only the silent empty land where Ikenga had once stood. The shrine to Sankara remained, but it was dark and silent, as if the god himself had disappeared. Years passed, and travelers who came near the area where Ikenga used to be said they could hear strange sounds coming from the forest. Some claimed to hear the wailing of the lost villagers still trapped in the earth. Others said they saw shadows moving in the trees with glowing red eyes watching from the darkness. No one dared to approach the land of Ikenga again. The curse of Sankara was real. The villagers had turned their back on the god who had protected them for generations, and now they were gone, taken by the land they had abandoned.